Hi guys! You guys always ask about my school journey, about my work journey, and my social media journey, so why not talk about it all here today together. So it's gonna be a long one because my journey is freaking like this, but it's interesting and fun, so let's go. So first of all, I'm 23 years old, Scorpio, and yeah, I went to high school like everybody else. I went to CEGEP, what we have here in Montreal. It's like a gap school before university pretty much. It's kind of weird. And I wanted to take a gap year before going to university, so I went to Australia by myself. My boyfriend came and joined me, my friends came and joined me after, and it was so cool. So I went to Australia, not planning on going back to school, but I did enroll in production, like a production program in university, in case I was coming back. So I ended up coming back from Australia 2 days before school started. I didn't come back because of school. I just ended up coming back then, and I was not in the right mindset to go to school, but it was kind of like, I have to go to school. Otherwise, I kind of felt like a failure. That's really how I felt at the time, and I was like, I need to go to school. I tried, and I was talking to everyone in my program, and they were all talking about how excited they were to be in this program, about maybe being a producer, stuff like that, and I was like, oh my god, this is not me. I want to work in marketing or fashion. Why am I in this program? After 3 weeks, I was like, this is too much. I'm wasting time. I'm unhappy. I'm stressed. So I need to drop out. So I dropped out. It was really hard because I was like, oh my god, everybody's gonna judge me. But in the end, it's the best decision I made because it was really boring and not for me. So then I took a gap year. It was fun. So I worked at Aritzia, I worked in a restaurant, I worked as a receptionist in a hair salon, and I also worked at Essence. So it was all over the place. I tried a bunch of stuff and it was cool. And I do not regret trying a lot of jobs. After a year, I was kind of like, okay, it's time to go back to school. I went in communications and marketing. I did 2 years and I dropped out of school this fall, and I'm not planning on going back. So I'll tell you all about the reasons why I dropped out of school, and it was not like just I don't like school, I'm not going anymore. It's because so many things have happened since summer of 2020, so I will tell you all about it. Let's go, baby. It's the first summer with COVID, summer of 2020, and my boyfriend was working. I didn't have a job. My friends, we couldn't see them, and I was bored out of my freaking mind. My boyfriend kept telling me, find yourself a project, find a hobby, find something, and I was like, yeah, but I didn't know what. And then, so random, but I ordered some summer clothes from Zara. I ordered like a funky dress. I put it on just to try it and see if it looks good, and then I put some earrings, I put some cowboy boots, and I put like sunglasses, and I'm like, yo, this looks so cool. And I asked my boyfriend, I'm like, Gabby, you're taking pictures of me right now. So we moved all the furniture in my living room. I was posing and we had so much fun. Well, I did. He probably didn't. And I felt so inspired. I was like, I want to be a content creator. Oh, and FYI, the dress was cute, but I returned it. And then I was like, that's what stylists do. Buy stuff and return. So that's what I'm going to do, because I was always wondering how people could afford so much clothes when they start doing fashion blogging, because you don't have sponsors, you don't have no one sending you stuff. So it was just like, how did they do it? So that's how I did it. I ordered and returned so much stuff. Be careful, because I got banned from a store that I will not name. But for me, that worked, and that's when I was like, wow, I love creating content. I love styling. I love fashion. I need to work in the fashion industry. At first I was like, I'm gonna work somewhere and make money and then afford fashion. Nothing made me feel passion and excited as much as fashion did. So I knew I had to try at least to get into this industry. That summer was also filled with other things. It was wild. Me and my friend also started a merch company, so we did crew necks, and we had like a little logo on top, which was the only thing we knew how to draw. It was a little guy on a skateboard with a bubble gun. It was really fun to have that experience. I did that with my best friend, just to work, not have a boss, and be an entrepreneur pretty much. We did all the content, we sold them, we delivered them ourselves, we did the cards, the branding was all us, and it was really, really cool. And that summer I also worked on a blog that me and my friend created. What we did, it was called Caju, and what we did, we were looking for small designers, and we were buying one piece from them, and then we would style it differently, and then at the end of the week it was like, which style did you prefer? So that was a full summer of trying stuff out. School started again, and I was way too busy for school, but I did it anyway. I did a full year, and it was a challenge. And right at the beginning of school, I think it's the first week, I have a friend that I haven't seen in so long. Turns out she works for Elle magazine. I'm like, huh? Excuse me, how did you get that job? I want to work there. And she was like, oh my god, my boss is looking for a new intern. I'm finishing this week. I'm like, stop. And I started working there. So school starts. I started my new internship. I have a blog, my social media going on, and I have a brand with a friend. It was just too much, and I was doing 4 classes, so that's pretty much full time. So it was too much, so we had to let go of the blog because my friend was also in school, and we're like, okay, it's just a bit much. And then not too long after, maybe I think it was in January, we also stopped our brand of crew necks. We let it on the back burner for a bit and we never really picked it up again, but we dropped Maddie and we dropped the blog, and I was only doing my social media, my internship at Elle, and school, which was already a handful. It was so intense. My internship was 3 months, and what I was doing, I was writing content, so like the 10 best looks of New York Fashion Week, or fun Christmas gifts ideas, the 10 best pair of jeans. So I was writing contents like that, and I really liked it until I realized that I was more creative, but I really liked it for the time I did it. So I kept working there until a full year and a half, pretty much. I just stopped working for that position. And then summer of 2021 arrives. A full year has gone by ever since all my project and my job and all of that. And I'm interested in styling, and I want to be a stylist now. One thing I will say is when I had ideas, I really act upon them, because I went up to a stylist that I met once. He was doing a pop-up, and I was like, I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna just ask him if he needs another assistant. I went up to him and I was like, hey Carrie, do you need an assistant? I would love to work with you, I love your work. And he was like, yeah, I need one next week. I had only 1 exam left before summer was starting, and I was like, okay. So I had my last exam of, I thought, the year, but it was of my life. And I left running to the shoot, and we did a 5-day campaign, and it was wild, and I loved it. I felt so alive. I was like, oh my god, I want to be a stylist now. So during that summer, I assisted him. I also did content. I started TikTok well, that was just like last summer, so recently. And I dropped out of school, and I also asked my boss at Elle, I was like, hey, I love my job with you, but I would also like to be more hands-on and learn and assist the producers of the shoots, of the cover shoots. It's like, would that be possible? And she was like, yes. And she put me in contact with the producer of Elle Quebec and Elle Canada. It's the same girl. She's amazing. And I started assisting her like 2 weeks later after I got in contact with her. Everything happened quickly. And I think the reason why everything happened to me that summer is because I was not afraid to ask, and I was not afraid to put myself out there. There was so many times last summer, or this year pretty much, that I was like so stressed. It was like, this is my first time doing this, and I felt so overwhelmed, but I just pushed through and went and did it, and for that I'm really grateful. The job as an assistant stylist, just so you guys have a little idea of what it is, you steam the clothes, you fix the models on set when they're shooting, so you're always on standby, like running to, let's say, fix, it's like this, fix the shoulder, fix the button somewhere. It's just, it sounds dumb, but like you always have to look because it's always moving, and it makes a picture perfect. Whereas assistant producer, you're looking for locations to shoot, you're looking for models, the catering, for all of that, for the shoot to go seamlessly for everyone. It's so much more work than I could ever imagine, but it was really fun. And now last summer, I'm assisting a stylist, running around like crazy, assisting a producer, I'm working for a magazine, I'm doing content, I started TikTok, and school was starting. We're September, and my friends are like, oh, I'm excited to get together, do you want to go grab coffee before school, blah blah blah. And I'm just like, school, what, already? Like, what the fuck? Time flew by, and I had no idea that school was starting, pretty much. And I was kind of in denial. I was like, yeah, school's starting, but it's not yet, it's not now, it's not now. And I was like, oh my god, school is like tomorrow, and I can't go. I can't put everything on hold. Just the year before, I was already overwhelmed with all my project in school, and I was like, yeah, there's no way I'm going back. And it was like you had to go to school. It was not online anymore. So that was also kind of like a lot of time that I had to sacrifice. So I was like, nope. So I dropped out of school last September. I think what you guys are also really interested in is how social media started for me. So I started summer of 2020, and I kind of had an audience on Instagram because I was traveling a lot and I knew a lot of people from school and all of that. So I had like 5,000 followers at that time. And I was like, you know what, I should use this audience and try to, you know, market it and like have fun. And my growth was so slow, but I was still so motivated. I was growing, but like this, you know. And then one day in August, I think it was August 12th, because I was on set. It was my second shoot with a stylist. And I freaking did a TikTok of help me pick my outfit, which you guys probably know. And it freaking blew up, and it was like, okay. And then I did another one the next day, and it blew up again. And the next day, and it blew up, and it blew up, and it blew up, and then millions of views, and then hundreds of thousands of views, and it was wild. And I think in like a week, I grew 60,000 followers, and it was just so quick. And then Instagram was growing also because of that, and I started getting contracts, and I signed with an agency in August too. I think, yeah, the same day my first TikTok blew up, I signed with an agency. It was in the works before, it just happened to be the same day that it was official. But yeah, so that's how it pretty much started. And right now I'm doing content full-time. I'm kind of not taking on as much work with the magazine. I'm gonna keep doing some freelance stuff, but I'm focusing in the next few months more on social media, but I'm loving it. And now I'm taking on YouTube, and it's really fun. With all of that said, my best advice for you is to ask people. I wouldn't have gotten my job at the magazine if it wasn't for asking people. I wouldn't have gotten the job as an assistant producer if I didn't ask my, if I didn't go to see the stylist, I wouldn't have worked for him. So it's really important to put yourself out there, as scary as it is, as like gut-wrenching as it is, and like you just want to go like 10 feet under just the ground and just be like comfortable in your comfort zone, but just get out of it. Freaking try, because for me that's been wild, and I'm so grateful that I don't know what was up my freaking ass in the summer of 2020, but I was so motivated. And when you're feeling the wind of motivation in you, freaking act upon it. Like, don't say, oh, I wish I could do this. Like, I'm always telling my friends, oh, I want to apply for this job, but for sure I'm not gonna get it. Who says that you're not gonna get it? Freaking aim for the stars, because if you settle for like what you think you're able to do and you're like, this is realistic, you're only gonna get there because that's what you're aiming for. Aim for here. Fall in the meantime getting there, but you're still gonna go somewhere. I don't know. Like my blog, it didn't last. My company, it didn't last, but look where it brought me. I watched Maeve Riley, the stylist, her video that she was doing on like how she got into styling. The best advice she could give like someone who's starting in styling, and I think it goes for everything, is just say yes to everything, because you're gonna meet so many people with different backgrounds, with different stories, with different opportunities that could lead you to so many places that you don't even know. Yeah, oh my god. It's been the best year ever. So I ask you guys to please take risks. When I started doing Instagram, I was so scared that people from my high school would judge me. I graduated in 2016, and in 2020 I was still scared of them, like, not that I was bullied or anything, I was just like scared of everybody else's opinion. No, that's over. It's so cliche, like you only have one freaking life to live. If you don't freaking grab it by the balls, it's gonna end before you know it, and it's gonna be so boring. So just go. Put yourself out there and be a badass. Okay. Love you. Bye.